Welcome to the online race briefing for TrailFest Cannock Chase Forest 2025. There will be race briefings before each event, so don't worry, you don't have to watch this, but I know some people like to get even more information so that they feel happier when they turn up on the day. Absolutely fine. So that's why this is going out, but there will be race briefings before each start. So for clarity, the 50k is starting at 8 a.m. The 10k and the marathon start together. It'll be obvious in a moment why, at 8:45, and the half marathon will start at 9 o'clock. Registration for all three opens at 7. Obviously, there's not really much point being there at 7 a.m. for the half marathon start until 9. Registration will be relatively quick, so don't expect it to be London Marathon-esque where you've got to be there 2 hours before or anything like that. If you're there and you're giving yourself at least 10-15 minutes, then you'll be absolutely fine. But please remember, parking is about a 10-minute walk, depending on how far into the car park you are, to HQ. So if you're starting at 9 and you think you can rock up at 5 to 9, you can have a very bad start to your day. I'll try and get through it as quickly as I can so that we can get you on with your day. Much the same as on the day, I'll try and go as quickly as I can so we can get you on with your running. It appears the weather is going to be a bit iffy. I think we might be lucky to avoid the rain all day. If you're doing the shorter events, you might miss it. But it looks like it's going to be wetter, colder than it has been. Autumn's definitely coming, and a little bit of wind as well. That said, the mandatory kit, as you'll see on the final email that's gone out, I've downgraded it. Effectively, I think the mandatory kit that I was asking for previously was a little bit overzealous. So now, if you're doing the 10k, there's no mandatory kit. However, for all distances, and just to be really, really clear, there are no cups. We don't do paper cups, we don't do plastic cups. If you want to drink, you need to bring a vessel. You can bring a little cup, you can bring a bottle, you can just bring an old plastic bottle, I don't care. But you need to bring something. We will not have cups there for you. You can buy them on the day from us, the collapsible cups, that's absolutely fine. But if you want to get a drink, you need to have a cup. So if you can run a 10k in half an hour and you don't want to drink, that's absolutely fine. Most people will probably want to drink, so you need to make sure that you bring a cup with you. But it's not mandatory. For the half marathon, the marathon and the 50k, that cup is mandatory. Because even if you're banging out a 70-minute half marathon, you need to have a drink, right? So you must bring a cup with you. So that is the only mandatory kit. I would suggest, especially if you're doing the longer distances, you carry a foil blanket, your mobile phone, and a waterproof jacket with you. But that is a suggestion. You're an adult. You need to make the best choice for you. Just because the kit isn't mandatory doesn't mean it doesn't make sense to bring it, right? It's not mandatory that you don't run in high heels. It'd be pretty stupid to do so. So just make a sensible adult decision, please, on what you need to bring for you to be safe and for you to be happy to run. There are effectively 3 courses that are set up at Cannock Chase. 2 of them signed individually and 1 of them is a mini lap. So I'm going to try and explain, without confusing you, what you need to do to get yourself round for each distance you're doing. So I will start with the 50k runners. 50k runners, really, really simple. I've even got a prop to help me here, and I've got a prop that will help me. So these are new, these are banners. You'll see these ones up on the day. Hopefully you can see that on the screen. I can't see a screen to see if it's working. But you're going to be starting here, and you're going to complete, with the 50k. You're going to be starting here, you're going to be doing a short out and back to make up that extra mile, because the main lap, the pink route on here, but what will be the red route that you'll actually be following, but the red didn't show up very well, that is a 10-mile loop. You'll do that 3 times. So you're going to do a little mini out and back, and then you're going to do this whole 10-mile loop into the aid station, back out, back to the aid station, back around, back to HQ. You're going to do that 3 times. So you're going to cross that finish line 3 times. On the 3rd time, make sure you're doing lots of shouting and hollering so we know that you're finishing. Because there's nothing worse than somebody finishing and we don't realise they're finishing. And also there's nothing worse than saying, oh, are you on your last lap? And then someone says, no, I've got one more, because that is a long way, that 10 miles, a very, very long way. So that is the 50k, nice and easy, out and back, and then 3 full laps. And you'll be following the red arrows, these ones, the red arrows only. That is all you're going to follow on the 50k. Next simple one, 10k. So the 10k runners, you're going to be following the purple arrows. So it's going to be a different route. So you're going to start here, you're going to go through the aid station after about half a mile. So, I mean, I wouldn't take anything from it, I'm assuming, but you're going to go through the aid station, straight down to the switchbacks, back round to the aid station at about mile 5, then back along most of the same course, and you're going to come back into the HQ a slightly shorter way than the main lap. So you're going to be coming into the finish line a different way. But you're going to do one 10k lap. So you're going to be following the purple arrows and you're going to do one lap. That is all you're going to be completing. And then we've got the marathon runners. So the marathon runners start with the 10k runners and they do one purple lap. And then they get back to the finish line after 10k. And then after the purple lap, they will complete 2 full red laps. So do one 10k lap or one 6-mile lap, and then 2 10-mile laps to make it to the 26 miles. Really simple. Once the 10k and the half marathon runners have started going, we'll have somebody following behind taking all those purple arrows down. So once you get back to the HQ, you won't have an option on what different colour arrows to follow, because they'll all be taken down. If you're incredibly speedy, you may well catch the end of the 10k runners or the marathon runners if you're really, really speedy. However, hopefully you'll have worked it out by then that you will be following the red arrows for lap 2 and 3. If you're doing the half marathon that starts at 9 o'clock, slightly different, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to start following red arrows, and you're going to get to here, which is about a mile in, and there's going to be a sign here that says half marathon left, everybody else straight on. You're going to do this little left turn, you're going to cut the course, and you're going to run straight up to the aid station. The aid station you'll see after a mile and a half. This is about half a mile in, 3/4 of a mile in, and then you're going to keep just following red arrows. You're going to come back to the HQ after 3 miles, you're going to go across the finish line, and then you're going to do one full red lap. So that does make sense. I have explained that relatively well. These great big things will be up at the HQ as well, so you can find out where you're going then. To be really, really clear, it is your responsibility to know where you are going. So if you get into the aid station, which is on a crossroads, and you don't pay attention to which way you came in, and you don't know how many times you've already been there, and you spin around and you say to a volunteer, which way am I going? They have no way of knowing that. So you need to take responsibility. I will explain the distances again on the day. The volunteers have bits of paper that tell them where people are meant to be at different sort of distances and so on, and which way they're meant to be going. But if you've got no idea how far you've gone or how long you've been running for, and you don't know where you're going, that's on you, right? You need to take a bit of responsibility. But I will explain all that, and it's in your race packs as to where you're going. I promise you, it's simple. Last year we had, I think, 350 people, and 2 people went round and round from the aid station more times than they should have done. So it's up to you if you want to be part of that less than 1%, but you'll be absolutely fine. But just make sure when you're crossing the finish line for the final time, you give us a big shout and a holler so we know that you're finishing, because we want to congratulate you, and we want to make sure that we get everybody that is finishing so we can congratulate you. But like I say, you're going to be following red arrows like these, of which there'll be tons, and then there'll be purple arrows exactly like this but purple, and that will be for the 10k and for the first lap of the marathon as well. The aid station. So with regards to on the 10-mile lap, on the red lap, the aid station you'll see at mile 5 and then at mile 8. So you'll see it at mile 5, you'll then do a essentially a rectangle, and you'll come back to it at mile 8. So it's the same aid station on the course, and then you'll see HQ at 10 miles as well. That aid station will have tons of food. If you go onto Instagram, you can see that I did a little video of the box of the food that we have, so you can see what sort of food there'll be. Sweets, savoury, gluten-free, vegan, all sorts of things in there. Cherry bakewells, all sorts. Can't guarantee it'll be there for you on your next lap, because it might all have been eaten and there'll be something different, but there will be something that you can eat if you need to eat something. So we'll look after you, and obviously we'll have our gels from Protein Rebel as well, so that will be there as well for you. The only cut-off for the day is effectively for the last lap of the 50k. I don't think I need to mention the last lap for the marathon, but that's a cut-off as well. The last lap for the 50k is a 4 p.m. start, so it's a 4-hour lap for 10 miles. You need to be below that and you'll be alright. So it's 2.5 miles an hour. Yes, it's hilly, yes, it's rocky in places, but I don't think anybody's going to be pushing those cut-offs. But we will be there until 8 p.m. Sunset is at 7:30, so it may be that we have to give you a head torch if you're going out that late. If you know you're going to be that late, please bring a head torch with you. I don't envisage anybody being there at 7:30, but we will be there for you if needs be. If you need to drop because of injury, do not just leave the course. You must drop at an aid station or at HQ. My phone number is on every single arrow, so if there is a drama you can phone me, but the medics stay at HQ. That's not because they're lazy at all, that is because the majority of issues happen when people finish or when people are close to finishing, so keeping them at HQ is the sensible thing to do. So if you can walk back to the aid station, there's effectively a shortcut back to HQ that you can walk, and we'll patch you up, and that'll be the end of your day, right? Obviously we don't want that to happen, but it's inevitable that these things happen to a very small minority. Obviously as well, your car is sort of towards HQ regardless of where you are on the course if you hurt yourself, so you're best to walk back to us, come and see us, drop out, and then go to your car and get yourself sorted. And that is pretty much it. So without the volunteers being there, you would not be running around, and I would have to get a real job. So please be thankful to them as you go past, whether that is saying thank you or a very nice smile or generally being polite. They are there to help look after you, but they are giving their time on a Saturday when they could be running themselves, but they want to look after you. So please be nice to them. And as I said, they are not there to tell you exactly what distance you should be doing and where you should be going. They will help you, but it is on you to get that bit right. Ultra will be with us as well, so you can try their amazing shoes on, and you can go for a little run. You can take it on a lap, or you can just go and run up and down for half a mile or whatever it is, but their shoes are great, so try them on in the real world. Also Laura from Dry Run will be there, so if you want to chat to her about bladder leakage pads, then please do. It sounds a little bit niche, but if it is something that is a problem for you women, then these things are meant to be absolutely brilliant, and so please go and speak to her. She'll be around for most of the day as well. With regards to the course, I'm not going to explain it all while I sit in a office 2 days beforehand and whatever. All I will say is it is a hilly course. However, if you're doing the red route and if you're doing the purple route as well, you won't actually hit any hills for about 2 miles, and then after 2 miles, boom, you hit the switchbacks and it all starts coming. So if you're doing the 50k and you're about 3 miles in, because you'll do the little out and back, and you're thinking, oh, I'm going a little bit too quick here, you're going to be in for a world of pain. So I would take it steady, but like I say, the first 2 miles is effectively downhill, so just be sensible. Don't think you've been missold this hilly course and it's all flat. It's coming, don't worry. Be sensible, look after each other, enjoy the day, give it your best shot, and we'll be here ready to put that medal around your neck. If you've got questions and you're watching this before the event, feel free to email or ask on the Facebook group. On the Friday, I'll be out marking the course, so it's very difficult to for me to be keeping on top of messages as well. So if you've got questions asked before, ask in the Facebook group. There's a lot of knowledge there as well. We've done this event quite a few times, so people have done it and they know the answers, and there's a great community on there as well. I'll see you soon. Come prepared and enjoy yourself.